matchup that we might see. Because if you're right, if the bans do stay the way that they have, and by the looks of things they might here, the Ahri could go the way of FPX. They actually respect ban the Samira. Wow, that'll be 480 carry bans, because no, it won't. The Lucian left open here for FPX. Do they go for the first pick Lucian, or do they prioritize something else? Do they want the Poppy, for example, that's still available?
I think the Poppy makes sense. I mean, this is the nice thing about being on blue side. You have so much more space to ban away, like, specific pocket picks, like this mirror, like the Rumble. You're not forced to ban OPs, and OMG, they are so set on denying the Ahri, they forego the Lucian ban. And now, the thing is, FPX can pick the Lucian Ami in 2-3, and normally we see things like Aphelios, Lulu being pretty good response. So if OMG go Aphelios, and then they pick up, say, a jungler here, or a mid laner, then they're in a pretty solid position. They're going to go for that Wukong. So now they can take like Lulu or Renato on 3, which is a decent matchup with Lucian Nami if FPX go it. So I think OMG have done a decent job to cover their bases, but it doesn't matter. FPX is still going to take it, and why wouldn't you?
Yeah, see LPX there, confident in the matchup, a little bit of a smile on his face as the Lucian Nami will be locked in for the FPX bottom lane. We know how much they love to go aggressive on that bottom side, and they will have the tools for the job. But you mentioned Lulu Renata. It's going to be Nautilus actually locked in for Cold.
Yeah, so instead of going for the more like defensive scaling options where Lucian Nami can struggle to trade into you, they go for, if you misplay, we will engage on you. So this is kind of Cold to a T. We're going for the more aggressive option, but now neither team has picked
Sorry, I just want to quickly mention while we're on the topic of Cold, like he's played a lot of different picks over the split, but his Braum is second most played on 5, Nautilus on 13. Like, if in doubt, lock in Nautilus for Cold. He's got a 70% win rate as well.
Yeah, and it does do well in Lucian, that short range, hard to play with when you are against like the ultimate from the Nort. We have seen the bans come in, start to target Cream in the mid lane, the Carly going, but also that Celia syncs so well with the Poppy. Both of those champions stopping dashes, don't want to give that combo over to the other side. Got to bear in mind that both top and mid haven't even been picked. I feel like OMG could ban Gnar here, because I think if Summit is going to have a blind top lane pick, it would be the Gnar. And I feel like you want to deny that so Shanji has more opportunity to use that counter pick effectively.
Yeah, we'll see. There is the Gnar ban from OMG. And FPX could go with another ban on towards Cream in the mid lane. But, I mean, you've already taken the Ahri, the Sylas, and the Akali, which are his top 3. Corki's not really in the meta anymore. Maybe something like the Victor, if you really just want to pinpoint everything that Cream has played across the course of this split, could be the answer.
Yeah, could also just look towards the top lane. Maybe something like a Gwen you don't want to give like a free matchup to, and they do end up banning that. So basically concerned if you pick something a bit too passive for Summit, that maybe Shanji picks something that can just scale exceptionally well. So that will be banned away. Now OMG, we expect a mid lane pick here. Victor is like the last remaining pick you maybe would expect from Cream. And, you know, moments like this are ones where you can wonder, has there been something else prepared? Is Cream able to bring something else up? It looks like they might just be committing in a direction, or could be a change of pace. Oh, lock in the Victor.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, going blind on the top lane on red side does seem a bit weird, but Cream has been fairly comfortable on the Victor. 6 times played this split. Now over to FPX, as they need to round this comp out. Aggression in the bottom side. They've got their jungle. They need their solo lanes locked in, but with the Gnar band, I'm curious where Summit will go blind in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the question. Got to have confidence in Shanji, because he's a player who'll bring out those curveballs. And they actually, they go for the Yone, so wanting something aggressive they can play around, which, I mean, technically could flex up the top lane. We don't necessarily know where it's going yet. We'll see what is locked in and see if we can compare in the positioning. But considering you're having a mobile mid laner, a mobile AD carry, that is a very threatening pick.
It definitely is. This will be the first time that Care plays it this split as well, assuming that it goes to that mid lane for Care. So this is going to be an interesting one for him, as he's played it in the LDL a little bit, 50% win rate over 6 games. Something he has played in his career, never brought it to the biggest stage though. Clearly comfortable against the Victor.
Yeah, and the cannon, I think, confirms it's going to be mid, but a lot of backline threat from FPX, like super strong team fighting. And we
Look at the faces on OMG. They know that they're bringing out the cheese.
I mean, we expected it, okay? I even said it before we came to the draft. It's Shanji. You always have to think he's got something up his sleeve, and he's going for this Jarvan pick. I can't for the life of me remember when, but Jarvan has been meta as a top laner before. And I remember like it was good enough things like Kennen, because you just I mean, you just flag and drag onto him and just beat him up. It's that simple. So once again, OMG looking to play heavily through top side. They have the strong scaling mid jungle, but honestly, FPX team fight just looks so fantastic that they kind of... I expect another chaotic game. I'm going to say that much, Joe.
Yeah, Shanji taking a Jarvan top here. This is going to be something special, that's for sure. OMG, though, on the brink of getting their first playoff series win since 2017. That's 5 years ago, the last time that they got that win on the board. And if they did it this game, with Shanji playing Jarvan top, they do it in style as well. We'll see if they have what it takes, though, because they're up against FPX, a team with masses of experience. You've got a world champion on your roster. You've got a world semi-finalist. You've got a world quarter-finalist. There is plenty of experience to work with. And Care no slouch, bringing out the Yone himself in this mid lane. This is going to be a banger, and it needs to be for FPX if they want to keep their playoff streams alive here as we head into game number 4 between FPX and OMG.
And I feel like the talking point this whole series long has been the jungle. Aki finding the advantages over Clid. Clid trying to put out fires. And I feel like it's going to be no different in this game, especially the Poppy is such a fantastic pick at stopping plays, at stopping aggression. With the fact you can interrupt those dashes, knock people in the walls. So once again, going to be tracking that in the early game and seeing what can happen. Something to note is we're once more seeing the first strike victor.
Hang on a second. We've got level 1 action. Care moving forward, trying to get damage down. Cream flashed on by Clid, but the stun doesn't connect. So it's flash for flash there. That's a Hex Flash Poppy. I think Clid's happy with that trade.
Yeah, honestly, this is going to sound weird, but it's actually good to be down flash sometimes on like Poppy with Hex Flash, because it basically means you can now have more aggressive gank routes because you can Hex Flash over the wall, whereas baiting your flash would obviously feel pretty bad. We've definitely seen it, but now like you've taken Cream's flash, so he's at a disadvantage. You have your Hex Flash to make your pathing more creative, we'll say. Just opens up opportunities.
Okay, so Clid, tactical flash burn here in the jungle. Now, I want to pick your brain, Orcs, as we've got opposite starts from our junglers here. Anticipate linear pathing. Talk to me about this Jarvan. We've got a Doran's Ring in his inventory. We've got Airy in his runes. Like, break it down for me, because I've not seen AP Jarvan in a little while.
Yeah, so we would actually see it. I'm not sure if he's going to go full AP or anything, but something we'd see a lot in support Jarvan was like Airy with a bit of AP, because your E has a decent AP scaling, and basically you look to harass with it. You just spam your E. It's very hard to dodge. It's not quite as good as like MF, Make It Rain, but like you just launch it on the head like that. Proxy Airy, Proc Scorch, very hard to avoid. And then when you hit level 2, you can just all in with a combo on top of Summit. So he's taking it for trading power. I don't know if he's going to commit. I feel like an AD build would still make the most sense, but he's basically going this for lane presence, lane harass.
Yep, Shanji hitting level 2 there, and you can see the push in the bottom side for FPX as well. Level 2 on the Lucian Nami. That's not a trade that Cold and Abel can ever take. You lose half your HP bar just thinking about it. Cream, though, knocked up. Clid comes in. Knocked sideways as well. Bit of damage there. They won't finish Cream, but good damage and good punish by Clid on the lack of flash.
And that's the thing. Clid can Hex Flash over the wall, find a good angle. And I feel like this is why Hex Flash is so important on Poppy, because the angle of approach is more important than anything. Obviously, he doesn't get the stun there. The direction you knock them can make all the difference. And did a lot of back and forth trading in this top lane. Shanji kind of having the edge right now, but still kind of feels a bit of a knife's edge. But with Clid on the top side, maybe we see something happen.
You can see there, 1,236 days since Jarvan top was last played, 2019 spring there. It's been a little while. So I guess that's the meta that you were talking about, where we did see the Jarvan top. And I did vaguely remember the Airy being a thing back then, but I wasn't sure if I was conflating that with the support Jarvan that we saw, which often went Airy as well. So I will say, with the Scorch buffs for Shanji, this feels pretty good. Oh, nice denial on the reset there. Shanji, he's going to build himself a nice little CS lead. However, the TP is available for some.
Yeah, one of the things that Kennen really thrives on is being very one-sided in the fact that you hit your enemy doesn't hit you. Lanes become a lot more uncomfortable when you have situations like this where you're getting harassed down in return. And Shanji doing a great job of just punishing Summit, really putting a lot of damage down onto him. Clid has been kind of... Sorry, go on. No,
We're
you
going to have
go
a
ahead,
polite
Joe.
off. This is
You
what
go
happens when you
ahead.
get two English-based people on a cast, especially online.
No,
I will say, Summit actually finding a small CS lead, though, right? There was a big wave that was crashing with the TP. Summit able to return. So Summit's still doing a decent job up there of maintaining himself despite the fact that he was pushed out of the lane.
Yeah, so, I mean, the harass does something, but now, especially with TP down, that's when harass really starts to be painful because it will stick. You don't have the chance just to go back to base, come back in a lane and be comfortable. But now, there's a Hex Flash!
Man, Kareem is just not having a good time right here. Still not to care, though. And I will say to him, like, fair play, he is surviving these ganks. That's a lot of pressure that Clid has been throwing towards that mid lane. Kareem's still surviving, and his flash is almost back available.
Yeah, I mean, Clid's been trying. He's been looking at every angle possible, trying to find one that'll work. So far, the answer is none of them, but has at least been applying that pressure. But flash back up, I feel like maybe we see him move away from trying to pressure that lane. Now that we're seeing once again those heavy trades, it's so frustrating. Like, what can you do?
Oh, attempting the mid lane. KF flashes forward under the tower with the flash from Cream. It's back available. And here comes Aki. It's a straight up jungle diff.
And he finds the kill. Care tries for it again. So close, but the flash being back up. Cream able to dodge away for the final knockup. Damage not quite there, and Aki's rewarded with a kill. I feel like we've watched top lane so much, but this is why Summit is struggling right now. And Shanji, he's got 2 biscuits in pocket. He is ready to keep going.
Yep, Summit might have to go for a reset on this one. Shanji should be able to just crash the wave as fast as possible. Cream here. Crucially, the flash just coming up before the play.
Yeah, and the thing is, if Care connects with this knockup, the extra damage from the E as well certainly would have taken him out. But managing to just survive. And I gotta respect Care for looking for the window, but does get punished pretty quickly. Now does have his ultimate available, so Cream with no flash, definitely something they can look for. But we'll see if that comes to fruition. For now, we do pan towards bot lane. We haven't seen too much come out from this bot lane 2v2. It's kind of just been a back and forth, but now we're getting some action.
It's going to be a 3v3. Clids here, level 4. Abel takes a massive chunk, but the stun actually comes out onto Cold instead. But he just goes in onto LWX. Here comes Aki to finish the job. 1 for 1, though. There's a support bell, but Abel just DPSing Clid here. Hung with a bit of a heal. Aki trying to get the damage down. Clid goes back in! Double for Clid. Revenge for the mid lane as Care comes in. A knockup, a fate sealed, and an Aki low on HP. Finished off.
And the cleanup is there for Care. He gets the final kill, but Clid playing that one fantastically, hiding in the alcove, and then using that window to manage to get that second kill from himself. Aki pretty monster fed now with those 3 kills, but in the end, FPX went out on the play. And we'll get the replay. So FPX, they're not aware Aki's there, but they're just supreme confidence. They notice him. Clid doesn't care. He's like, we are killing Cold. Gets the stun lock. Cold says, no, I'm going in. I'm killing this Lucian. And it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. Clid looks like it's in a comfortable spot, but remember, Poppy gets extra resistances when low, buys some time, and then this play, Abel just not expecting the turnaround.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't blame him. I didn't think Poppy would do that much damage either, but really nicely played by Clid. And this entire series, so much of it has been down to the way that the junglers are interacting with each other well in game number 4. Both of them with bounties, both of them with kills. And now it's down to who can have the bigger impact in the game.
Yeah, absolutely is. And I feel like Summit's still struggling top lane, but like this Ken and this Yone, I feel like these picks in the team fight can be so hard to play against for OMG. Especially the Lucian as well. A lot of people talk about the Lucian Nami lane being really strong. I feel like seeing time and time again, it can struggle in some matchup. The big thing for me is the 1-item spike. That's what you can really lean on to pop off. So definitely can keep our eyes out for that. For now, OMG, they feel like they have control. They are just going to pick up the Herald. It will be at the cost of some plates, though.
Yeah, and this one, you know, is guaranteed. We've seen plates denied a couple of times. But with OMG rotating Cold up, Clid actually moving down as well to try and threaten the dive. This will be at least 2 plates taken by LWX and Hung. They already got one earlier on in the game. But the Herald finished off here, and actually they don't quite finish off that last play.
Yeah, might be able to get it in time now if they just push up, take the plate, and back away. But the other thing is a lot of CS denied, so I still feel like OMG are happy with the passage of play, right? Because the Herald, 300 gold, you get for killing it, and then you obviously can get the place as well. They will take that. The FPX are making them pay for it pretty dearly, especially they can secure this dragon. Early Infernal doesn't have the most impact because it's percentage AD and AP, but you start to feel it on the later stages. When your carries are like 300 AD and you get an extra 18, that is a lot.
Yeah, it absolutely is. First strike taken there by FPX. And this was the thing that they were praised for during the regular split, right? If you think all the way back to the start of the day, when we talked about some of the stats that were coming out for this team, their first blood percent super high, first in the league. Their first tower percent, third in the league. Their kills at 15, really high as well. It was all about the early game, super low average game time as well. So good to see them bringing a bit more of that early game to the table here, because they've had a very slow series, right? They've been playing for the later stages of the game for the majority of this one.
Yeah, and I feel like as much as they've always challenged, it's not a good position to put yourself in. Have to fight back from deficit. I don't think it's too big of a problem if you're a little bit behind, like we saw in that game 1, but when you start to feed away kills after kills after kills, that's where it becomes problematic, to say the least. Now, I think the focus, the lens, needs to be on Aki and what he can find with this Herald. They have set up here with the Wukong ult, with the Nautilus ult. They can look for a play. They've seen LW. I think I'm calling it, he's dead already.
Yeah, Hung's resetting as well. This is nightmare for LWX here. Knocked up cold, walks up for the root. It's a good tidal wave, but I don't think anything can save LWX here, but it doesn't matter. He goes 1 for 1. He somehow turns that around and gets a kill for himself. Unbelievable there from LWX. Aki does have the Herald, though.
Yeah, so they should be able to get a positive play here for OMG, but they really should not have lost cold there. Just a fantastic play from LWX with the burst damage, with the Gale Force. And actually, he's fighting them off as well. They will put the Herald down. We'll see if they're able to, I'm not sure they'll be able to get the full tower off of this. They should be able to get 4 plates, which is pretty substantial. But yeah, the fact that LWX traded kills, the fact that Hung is just willing to fight them off from his tower. OMG get a decent amount, but maybe not as much as I'd hoped for.
Yeah, absolutely not. If Cold is there, there's no way that Hung can defend the tower as well. Cream now ulted in the mid lane, drops his gravity well. Chaos Storm, big damage onto Care there, and now cleared in a 1v1, but Cold's arrived onto the play here. Cream does not have flash available. Big damage out onto Care. He's 1 HP, but he zips on out of the play. And nicely done here, cleared, and Care working in the 2v2, but Cold goes back in, denied by the steadfast presence.
Yeah, the Poppy's so effective against the Nautilus there. And it was so close. Care nearly going down. A lot of damage from the Victor. Managing to dissuade him. And I mean, you look at the fact that... Oh, yeah, he can take so many plates here. OMG really starting to gain some momentum on this, despite the fact Queen went down.
Okay, Shanji has just all in and maybe killed himself, but gets the knock up here. Summit low on HP. The flash from Shanji too early. Oh! It's a trade!
Oh, my look. Well, you said, Joe, you said at the start of the series, you expected solo kills. We just got 2 right there, apparently.
Oh, my days. That is not what I anticipated. Shanji, that felt like too much as he went in there. Flashing to try and dodge the shuriken as well, but Summit gets it. I want to say one of those kills at the end was actually an airy after.
I think it was. But yeah, so close. I mean, I just love that these two are willing to go head to head down to the wire. And I mean, it could have quite easily gone another direction. It could have been Summit getting a solo kill without dying. It could have been Shanji doing the same. But they both risked it. And I guess they both get half of the biscuit in that one.
They get a biscuit each, but generous here in the LPL. Bot lane tower, though, trying to be defended by OMG. Glitz sticking around to try and threaten 1 HP. Someone click on the tower. 26 HP. Okay, he's just going to walk.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
wait, it's still...
Oh,
I mean, that's the tankiness without the minions, but he gets it. And actually, what's really nice is, I'm not sure, I think he got a lot of the gold himself there, because obviously they let it reset, he came back in. They're going to eventually, OMG doing a decent job to stave it off, but right now, I mean, FPX ahead, they have that dragon, but not by not much.
Yeah. This is big damage. Care forced out of the mid lane by Cream, and I feel like this matchup has flipped on its head, right? We saw so much threat from Care early on, but recently it's been Cream getting the better of it.
Yeah, I feel like... Oh, we're going to replay this. We got to...
Okay, here we go.
I mean, I feel like Shanji just goes for it, starts beating on him, and I think the important thing is he manages to land the combo in the end to turn things around. But it's so close, and Shanji didn't have the gold ring for at this point, so not able to heal to get. It was the airy, the scorch, the minions. A lot of things hit Summit at the end. But yeah, I mean, now Shanji does have the gold drinker. I feel like you have to be a bit more careful about taking those extended fights because that heal can make a lot of difference. But regardless, top lane fight happened a while ago. The focus now is that dragon. 10 seconds away. Hextech Soul is fantastic for either side. The extra stats, I mean, sorry, dragon. The extra stats fantastic. And OMG are looking to try and force FPX away, who already have control of the area. Both top lane is just TP top, by the way, so they won't be joining in on this.
Yeah, Blade actually smited that blue buff there, but he has the shorter cooldown available on his smite. The laser.
Oh, wait. Shanji's actually running down. Shanji's running all the way. He TP's top, but he's like, what? I'm just beelining straight here.
He's got the inside track. Drake started here by OMG. We need to see a good smite come out from Aki if they want to secure it. But there goes Cold. See you later, buddy. Tidal wave on in. Aki still on the scene. Steadfast presence used a little early. And Shanji just jumps onto the backline. Aki and Care in the pit here looking at the Drake. Smite available. Aki takes it. OMG with the Drake for themselves. And now they have to escape as well. Abel on the front line, though. And taken down. Care goes ham. Taken 2 as LWX finishes the 3rd. Clint chasing down Cream here, but I think Cream should walk away. Gravity well available in a second here. But my goodness, what a fight from FPX.
I mean, OMG gets the dragon, but you can see how hard it is to fight against what FPX has. Care flies in for the long-range engage. And bear in mind, Summit wasn't there. Summit didn't even use his ultimate. And think how much Abel just got decimated. What a replay of that one. And like the initial fight, a little bit scrappy. Shanji ults on a hung. I think maybe trying to force a flash here. But ends up just backing away after he's exhausted and locked down. But like a lot of tools are used by OMG initially. They get the dragon sure. But Care is like, it is go time. I'm flying in on this one. It's fantastic. Gets the knock up, chains it again. And even with Abel flashing, he still gets caught.
Yeah, massive from Care. And you know, this is a player that has spent most of the year playing things like Ari, kind of being a setup tool for the rest of his team. This feels good to see Care bringing out a Yone, you know, going for the dive on Cream earlier. Sure, it didn't work, but now in the team fight, popping off with the fate sealed across the whole team. Like, where has this Care been all year? I'm loving watching it.
Oh, 100%. And I feel like he has so much opportunity to take over this game. 4-1-1 now on that Yone. Going for the Blazing King has already been completed. He's spiking super hard. Going to have the tank mythic next. He's going to be a problem, especially with the follow-up there's in the team now. He might be in a little bit of trouble there, but he will just walk it off. Looks like Cole wasn't too sure about taking that play. But we still have...
Say he got cold feet.
Really, Joe?
Yep,
We've had a nice, pleasant cast today.
Yeah? Okay, he's fine. He's fine. He also got cold feet.
Oh my! Stop.
He got Care feet. No. Okay, that one I take back. That one I take back. I feel like I've upset you now, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were having a good time. It's been a nice cast. I think everyone's enjoyed the broadcast. And let's just focus on the gameplay.
Well, Clint is focusing real hard on the gameplay, but it's against his will. He did not want to focus on that gameplay right there. Good pick for OMG. In the meantime,
maybe he just was tired of hearing your jokes and he was like, I'm done. Take me.
Yeah. That was a visual representation of Orcs on the cast right there. Just walks in and accepts his fate.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a nice pick for OMG, but they're still at a deficit. They're still behind. And we do actually see a bit of a play in the bot lane. I think this was just Summit, like, going aggro. Yeah, Shanji. This is the problem, is that Shanji can always really dash away quite easily. But you can see Summit's gained a lot of confidence in the matchup. Looking for the all-ins. 2 minutes until that next dragon, though. And I feel like that is the point that we're kind of mounting up to. We're starting to see spikes come in. LWX has the Rapid Fire and the Gale Force. We've got the Mandate, Manami. I think Care should have his Mythic by then. And also, FPX still have the Herald in pocket that they can look to use. So that will probably be a point where I think OMG... I'm not even sure if they contest that dragon. I mean, they probably will, knowing them, but it's going to be a hard fight to take.
Shanji goes in onto Summit. Remember, no ultimate. We just saw that used, and Shanji just slowly but surely autoing down. Summit forced the flash there. I will say, not the most exciting 1v1 I've ever seen, but still, flash bird by Shanji. Nice window, but crucially, Summit will have his ult up for this next fight. And what a flip of the script from game number 3 in the series, right? Now it's FPX, the ones with an advantage after the 15-minute mark. They're the ones that are 2,500 gold lead up. They're the ones with that first Infernal Drake that will be looking towards Soul Point if they can maintain the pressure that they have.
And I mean, the flash being down for Kennen is a pretty significant blow, but still so many tools available. Now they're looking for mid with this Herald. Cole just chunked out there.
Oh, great ult coming out from Tom as well, but the Herald should finish the tower off here. You don't have to... Oh, knockable to Cole. The anchor still comes out. Oh, okay! Where has this been all my life? I want to see more as they go under the tower. FPX putting their foot down, but Clint falls. It's an answer in favor of OMG here. Good little caliber onto LWX. Care under the tower. Once again, he finds his mark. 6-1. Care is a monster.
What an absolute beast there. Finds the kill on a Cold and then even gets Cream as well. And it feels like OMG just can't even defend towers in the mid lane against them. Dragon for sure, I'd expect to be forfeit. Clid being down though may make them hesitate and maybe OMG get there in time. But this Yone is becoming a prevalent issue. You see this play here, just sees that Hold is low, and you know, we talk about the Lucian Nami. This is the Lucian Yone, buffs up Care to have all that extra damage and the W at the end, allowing it to do enough damage afterwards, but then also finds his follow-up, and also Clint, great ult to knock away the Jarvan rather than hitting Abel. Does obviously go down, but Care just able to find these fantastic engages onto the backline of OMG.
Clean Yone play here, and man, I never want to see Care on RE duty again. This is something to behold. FPX, once again, we mentioned that early game lead. Literally a couple of minutes ago, it was 2,000. It's now 4,000. They've doubled it since we last spoke at the 20-minute mark. That's 2 Drakes for them as well. And remember, for FPX, this is a redemption story. They made it to playoffs last time around, and they fell at the first hurdle. It was EDG that beat them. Now trying to redeem themselves as Cream. Chased underneath the tower here. Cliff can't quite finish it. The Chaos Storm chases Summit away. But crucially, the next opponent for either team, I can't talk because people are dying left and right. Abel falls. FPX desperate to face EDG in the next round and get revenge for last playoff.
Yeah, we have more action coming out here, Joe.
The second you try and say a narrative, it all kicks off. Care to 2v1 here. Misses ulti, knocked up, double knocked up there, and taken down. In comes Summit. Good stuns there, but can't finish the kills.
I mean, that's a big shutdown. I think it's Aki who picked up again, unfortunately. He's got so much of the team's gold. But regardless, it is going to be kill found there and an objective bounty as well. So a lot of gold. Oh my. Oh, Cream's still looking. He has the laser.
He's got the speed. He's got the laser. And Cream, that's a solo kill technically. It doesn't matter if he doesn't have his Akali. He'll still find his windows. Big play here. Let's take another look at mid lane. Is Abel just caught out by LPX?
I mean, this is the problem with playing against Lucian Nami. Is like anytime someone contests a wave, you have the Gale Force, you have the dash, even have the flash there, and you just get bursted down. Now here, Care, I honestly feel like, you know, I understandably quite confident this play, even dodges away from the engage. He would easily win this 1v1, but Aki showing up, and Aki pretty sizably fed with 6-1 good in this play, just starts to shred through him with that ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, Aki is the DPS threat in this game. That's 1,000 gold bounty that went into Aki's pocket as well. And then we see Cream able to just walk past the tower. Thanks to the minions, thanks to Aki tanking. Cream confident to just go for this one. Thought that the laser was going to hit, so went for the flash. But then with the Q movement speed, as you mentioned, just charges on it again. 405 gold, not too shabby. It was a tier 2 on the bottom side, though, in FPX's favor. So 3,000 gold lead. And I feel like we're starting to get to the point where it gets real exciting here. So let's talk scaling, because with a Victor and an Aphelios on OMG's team, I feel like the late game can look really good for them.
I mean, those champions scale well, but I just think they really struggle to team fight into what FPX has, because the dive threat, the dive potential, it's definitely going to give OMG an edge in that regard. I think they're going to fare better in the late game than they are right now, but I don't think it's clean sailing. I think the teams have different win cons. OMG want to front to back, FPX want to dive, and they're going to be fantastic at doing so. I do want to take stock of the items quickly. Just, sorry to keep cutting you off, but look at the item differential between AD carries right now. It is pretty major.
Item and a half in favor of LWX. That is disastrous. And I feel like that's what we saw in game 2 of the series, right? Where we saw OMG just brutalizing LWX's Sivir. Now the tables have turned and it's Abel, the one struggling to get those items on the board. And, you know, I find it funny that you mentioned how FPX, they want to dive in these fights. That's been OMG's MO basically for the last 2 years, and the script completely flipped here. Baron started by FPX. They have control of the area. Aki needs to try and find a steal here. Chaos Storm used very early on onto Care just to dissuade the all-in, but FPX will have to back away.
Yeah, I mean, the crown as well, massive for the Victor, because you saw Care did no damage to him when he went on him there. But they'll do enough to dissuade them, and I think ultimately just have to be a bit cautious because FPX could easily throw this at Baron if they overcommit. But now, I think Cole might get the fourth.
Oh, Zanka hit the wall, but the gravity well. It'll be enough. Cream keeps his support alive. This feels tense, Hawks. This feels really close. And honestly, for OMG, I don't blame them for feeling tense. They're on the cusp of making it to round 2 of playoffs. It's the first time in 5 years. That's as long as Code has been in the team. He wants to see round 2 again. He wants to see success again for this organization. It feels like this fresh squad with Cream, Aki, Shanji, and Abel returning to the LPL might just be his ticket, but they need to find a way back into the game first.
And I feel like it's going to revolve around this dragon. Bear in mind, Mountain Dragon, 9% armor and MR. Look at the items across the board of FPX. You have the super tanky Poppy. Yone is pretty bulky as well, but even the non-tanky champions will get a lot of benefit from these stats, so you don't want to give this dragon over, especially as it puts them on soul point. But with the deficit and with FPX controlling the area, this is going to be difficult to contest. Aki's resetting. I think it's given this, but this is going to hurt so much.
But I think, like you said before, you know, they don't necessarily win the late game, but it looks slightly better in the late game for them than it does right now. So I guess OMG just deciding, look, now is not the time to risk everything. Give over the Mountain Drake, allow them to build their advantage and try and play topside. We see OMG now moving in towards the Baron area to try and get some vision for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you have to do. When you're not contesting the dragon, at least get some vision around the Baron area so that when FPX move over, hopefully they don't clear all your wards or they have to spend more on pinks. You can see Aki takes that one out. One of the powers of Wukong, able to dash over that wall. But yeah, there's extra stats. I mean, look, Poppy's just completed a Frozen Heart. You're already struggling on damage for Abel. It's like you either go low Dominic's now and then you get IE 4th, or you get IE now and you get low Dominic's 4th. Either way, Abel is not killing Clade easily anytime soon. And the extra stats as well. Like, look at this Yone in the bottom left. You can see the armor and MR. About 150 of each. He is super bulky, super hard to take down. And it just means, like, when he's diving on your face, when you're getting CC'd, knocked up and everything, it's going to be so much harder to try and trade it in return.
Yeah, what's in the pit for either side here, but Clade not wanting to move too far forward. Obviously, will naturally proc the Baron with the Chemtech if he uses any abilities there. Shanji moving to the bottom side once again. And I will say, oh God, it feels so bad for OMG that Aki has 7 of their kills. I mean, he's a monster. He's on 3 items before any of his solo laners are, which is not something you see too often. But man, they'd love to have more of that gold on Abel, on Cream, on Shanji, any of the above, honestly. But looking towards the team fights, Aki will be a big threat to LWX. That has to be said.
Oh, for sure. And that's probably the opportunity. If FPX miscoordinate the dive, like maybe Summit gets trapped in a Cataclysm, LWX oversteps, and you see Wukong one hit, that's kind of the thing you can do. There is good anti-dive from the side of OMG. I'm not sure if it's good enough, but I think something we need to track is any summoners that are burnt leading up to this next dragon fight, because I expect that's where FPX will be looking to lean around. Everyone has every single summoner available right now, but losing a flash on a Kennen, on a pivotal carry, can make all the difference going forward to that. And I wouldn't be surprised for both teams to try and like look for these windows, these opportunities to burn some of those. For now, Shanji is gonna get aggressed on, but I think he just senses it and backs away.
Yeah, also, he's on the Jarvan, so relatively safe, but with Clid moving behind him, oh no, and his flag being on cooldown. Big opportunity, stun against the wall. Facing a flash from, though, by Shanji. There's the flag and drag. But like you said, these flashes are crucial, and it's a big cooldown. And look at Care, his ultimate, it's already a quarter done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal to burn. This is the thing. You trade an ult for a flash this close to the next dragon. You take that every single time. Oh!
LPX just blasts out his ult there, trying to fight for Baron control. Honestly, I feel like FPX were kind of outnumbered on the play because Summit was miles away. LPX going really deep there, but just pure respect out from OMG.
Yeah, I think the fact is the GA makes it very hard to try and aggress onto him, and also the fact you have to walk through the culling, which is doing like 1 million damage. FPX going to try and get vision around Baron. This is really important because they don't want to lean too heavily on the Dragon and give this one up. But they're doing everything they need to. They're applying pressure, baiting summoners where they can, making sure they don't lose control of the Baron area, and just constantly threatening OMG. And it's on OMG to try and find a window in, to try and find access to the Dragon area to try and contest it. A minute 45 away. We have seen the Rabadons picked up by Cream, so pretty big spike there. But Abel still struggling, still an item and a half down.
Ult's in the top side here. Summit has reinforcements on the way, but Aki's already here. Summit knocked up. Aki has to finish the job. Fate sealed only onto the monkey here. Shanji having to tank up his Care in a 2v1. Knocked up and knocked up again, but he's got damage. LWX has arrived. Shanji 1 HP. It's going to be Aki going down here. The shutdown into the pocket of LWX as Shanji desperately tries to escape here. Golden Aegis for a shield. Flag and drag. He might be able to get the execute. Honestly, Clid is running as fast as his little legs will take him. The TP. LWX finds him. And a solo kill as well.
And that's so brutal for OMG because now Shanji, no TP. He's going to be up like 10 seconds before the Dragon. Looks like they might just start the Baron up though. I mean, Aki is down. We'll see if OMG can force them off this.
This is the moment for Cream and Able to prove themselves here. FPX in the pit. Victor can do a lot of work. The Chaos Storm currently on cooldown. Cold forced away by the culling. Remember, Clint has the smite available. OMG over the wall trying to deny. It's not gonna happen. The smite is there. And FPX, they do away with the FPX Baron memes of spring.
Yeah, I mean, great job to secure that one. But here, I mean, OMG look for this, and Summit buys so much time with his ultimate. Shanji obviously can't do more, and shit, Aki bursting through. But now they have no cooldowns left for this Yone. This Yone's bulky. Like, you're not killing him easily. He starts to shred through Aki, turns it onto Shanji, and then Aki just ends up going down the burst of Lucian. Shanji, yes, he survives because, you know, maybe a miscalculation from Care, but regardless, Aki, what are you doing?
This is a big old pick onto Hung here. 1-for-1 if Aki goes down. Cold finds a hook onto Care as well. Summit in the backline, but Abel flashes out to safety. Keeps himself alive. Summit the next target. He falls double for Abel here. And Clint now getting chased out of the pit as well. Aki still going strong. There's a third one taken down. OMG, how have they done it? They flipped the game. They flipped the script. They find themselves a Drake.
And I thought it was a mistake. I was like, Aki, you're overcommitting for a Nami. You're gonna die here. But he just dips and dives away, manages to get away from FPX, and they commit so much to try and take him down. You saw Summit flash on Abel, but he flashes away. They win the fight and they get the Dragon, and this game's still going. I mean, Hung warding a bit aggressively here. I think thinking you got the back of your team. But like here, look at Karen Clint. I was certain. I was like, Aki is dead. He is just thrown. But W's away. Clint gets the wrong target. And then Summit tries to go for Abel. Has to flash out the Cataclysm though. And as a result, Abel just flashes the wall. And yeah, I was so nervous for OMG. They make it work. They pull it out of nowhere despite the fact FPX had just won a fight and just gotten Baron.
All took the 1,000 gold bounty there. Bit of a disaster there. I will say, Abel though, Gale forcing in. I think Aki maybe would have been too deep if Abel wasn't there aggressively following up and making sure that kill goes down quickly. Cream now on wave clear duty. The Baron's still got 50 seconds on it as Care tries to threaten under this tower, but the whole squad is here from OMG. I'm not sure that this is siegeable. And once again, we enter one of these games where the composition just doesn't have that much range. It's so difficult to siege for it.
Yeah, I mean, FPX need to find these big engages. And the thing is, if they do flounder on the engages, that comp looks so rough. Because Victor is hitting critical mass. He's so strong right now. Aphelios, he's got the Lord Dominic. He's closing in on IE. He's already got a BF. They will be menaces if you can't get on them. And shit, FPX got a tower here in the top lane. But I don't think they're going to break the inhibitor tower even with that Baron. And OMG, 3,000 gold behind. But the fact they denied the soul, so significant.
Massive here. Shanji as well, just trading towers. So, you know, tier 2 for a tier 2. Shanji's happy to take that trade any day of the week. You mentioned items. 3 on the Victor, 3 on the Aphelios. We're getting to the point now where these carries do exist for the side of OMG. I will say, LWX still comfortably ahead. He's finished his entire build. So, but I mean, LWX ain't getting any stronger this game.
That's the problem, exactly, is that he's not getting any stronger. He kind of vibed on the fact that he was ahead. He could just burst down Abel. It's going to become more problematic as Abel catches up in items. And I just want to say one thing. I have utmost respect for Cream, who hasn't bought a Zhonya's this game. and has just opted. Like, sure, he's got the crown, which is obviously a defensive option, but he's not gone, I need a zone. He's gone, I want as much damage as physically possible. And he is really starting to pump the numbers right now. And especially, as you said, the short range. Everyone remembers that famous double lift clip on the Lucian into the Victor. You know what can happen if you get too close.
L-X. Let's see if it happens in this game. Cream certainly has the damage to make it work with the Shadow Flame and the Death Cap. 2 minutes until the next Drake comes up, and that would be the key for FPX. They've got themselves 2 Mountain Drakes. They'd love to turn it into a Mountain Soul. That would do so much to mitigate that massive damage that we're talking about on the side of OMG. Whether or not they can find it depends on how they play the map, because OMG, their mid-game, generally speaking, has been a weak point across the course of this year when it comes to the shot calling. There's been some awkward decision-making, it has to be said. But we haven't really seen them playing for the late game like this with 2 scaling carries on their team. And we see now why this Jarvan was picked, right? It's not just about the lane. Being able to keep Summit away from the rest of the squad feels like the goal. Yeah,
trapping him in a cage, and he has to burn his flash to get out of it, which means he doesn't have the flash to get on the back line. A lot of strength there. Something I want to know, Void Staff just picked up by Cream, and Abel has 1,900 gold. If he sells his Doran's Blade, I think he pretty much has Infinity Edge at this point, so I think he's recalling for it now. These are humongous spikes for this next fight. And I think OMG, you know, we talked about scaling earlier. I said that FPX's comp can still find the backline engage, but it is going to get more difficult. And now these carries are fully online. The scaling OMG invested in is coming to fruition. And with 1 minute to go till this dragon, you couldn't have timed it better.
Yeah, and I feel like people always talk about 3 items with crit 80 carries, but generally speaking, 4 items is actually the part where you feel like, okay, this is it now. Like, you don't get much longer. Even with the 5th item, doesn't make that much more difference than having the 4. Big poke.
5th item's usually defensive, but 4 items, like, I am doing max damage now, you know?
Exactly, yeah. It's like the Lord Doms or like the Bloodthirster or like a Zeal item that means you can really min-max your damage. Care over the wall here. Cold anchors pretty much point blank, but he'll walk away with his life. Let's talk setup here, Orcs. Drake in 20 seconds.
I mean, I feel like it's simple. Either get on the back line if you're FPX or don't. Oh, Summit's caught.
Shanji just goes 1v1 with Summit, loses all of his HP. It's ult for ult, though. And I think maybe Shanji's happy with that. Aki has to flash away because he wanted the chickens. That's a little criminal.
Yeah, I mean, a bit messy. I do like the trade from Shanji because losing the cannon ult is huge. Aki's going to solo.
His ultimate as well. What is happening right here? Aki caught out. He's going to go down. That soul basically for free for FPX. I don't understand.
I'm perplexed. I mean, I thought the win con was, you know, you have to get on the enemy backline, not just the enemy front line gives you a freebie. And Aki's dead for 40. Iron's up. Soul secured. FPX, this is everything they want. And I feel like maybe they're a bit surprised by the situation as we are, but they aren't going to hesitate. They're going to head straight over to that Baron. And OMG, they're not even going to contest. They don't have a smite. What just happened?
And it's absolute heartbreak for Aki, right? You know that he's more disappointed in that play than anyone else in the world right now, because this man's 2nd year in the LPL. He's been one of the players that has kind of rebuilt this roster alongside Cream. Him, those two, and Cold last year making it to playoffs. And he's had such a good day until this point. Forced the flash after going for the chickens there. And then just staying too long, trying to find a pick onto a man that has a GA.
Yeah, I don't understand the game plan, especially because Shanji is recalling. Like, he traded his health. Like, he traded ult and flash with Summit, which is, I think that's a worth trade. But he lost his health, so the plan was recall, TP back in. Why you're trying to pick a fight before that happens, I have no idea. But Aki just not on the same page. And now FPX with the Baron and the Soul, they're in a position of strength again. And they're going to start to try and push down. We did mention it can be a struggle to hit the towers with the short range, but Care's looking.
Certainly is. Big damage onto him, though. That's half his health gone, and Abel has a lot of lifesteal to work with. So, honestly, OMG happy with that trade. But crucially, they're also losing inhibitor tower damage. LWX waltzes on in to finish that tower. Shanji, in the meantime, threatening inhibs. Abel low, Cold low, misses the anchor, walks away with his life, but barely. LWX, though, the Calibra just ever so slightly wide. That was on a knife's edge. Now Cream moving up top to defend this against Summit.
So much damage being thrown out at this point. This is why it's so hard playing picks like Nautilus this late in the game, because you want to be at the front line trying to engage, but you just get decimated. Now,
oh,
I mean, why not?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Abel with a billion chakrams there, but unfortunately, the caliber of gravity, I mean, it's just not a good combo for fighting. So really tough for OMG as they will lose, I think, 2 inhibs here. Maybe FPX have to back away. I don't know if they can quite finish the top one here, but I feel like they can just play the long game. Still a full minute of Baron.
Yeah, keep applying the pressure. And look, we actually see Care pushing in the bot lane, has a wave there, and he's so hard to deal with the side lane. The problem is, against Poppy, Poppy really thins out the ability to engage for OMG. So yeah, they have really good anti-dive. They're trying to get on top of FPX. It's a bit of a struggle. And so they're just trying to clear the waves, and that's being their focus right now.
Yeah, over the wall, getting a bit of damage down as the siege continues. And once again, low range comp with the Baron, they can take these towers. Aki, once again, going in, trying to get stuff done. But my goodness, yeah, like, you take a little bit too much damage, you are going to go down. LWX, no slouch when it comes to just bursting people out here. The Baron's still going for 30 seconds. There's another wave on its way. I feel like this bottom tower might not be long for the world as Summit pressuring in the top side. Cold low on HP. In goes Care. Face sealed on 3. Cold 1 HP as well as the tidal wave hits everybody. OMG trying to survive. Summit locked up, but he still gets the double. The Cataclysm does nothing. Azaki will fall. And FPX, they keep themselves alive. They want to escape the shadow of the former team. They want to prove themselves as they push us to 5. They push us to silver scrapes, and they show OMG what an early game looks like.
Absolute decimation, and sure, OMG got a team fight in there, but LWX and Hong on the Lucian army. We see why this was banned away from them all series long. Look at the smiles. Care knows what he did in that one. Absolute flawless gameplay on the Yone. And I just feel like it's such a shift from what we saw in the regular season, where he was more of that Roma, more of that I'm going to play your Ari, Lyssandra's lean.